Chapter 21:13, 3 Months of Preparation. Zhang Yi returned to Tianhai City, and Yang Xinxin went to interrogate Lori Deck without saying a word. Zhang Yi called by Li Changqing and ordered, "You must immediately build a factory for me in our city. It must be 3,000 meters long, 500 meters high, and 500 meters wide. Work quickly and install thick partition boards on the outside so that not even a sliver of light can leak out." After listening, Bai Li Changqing immediately said, "Yes. Do you have any other orders?" He did not ask Zhang Yi what he wanted to do, knowing that he would be doing the right thing by following Zhang Yi's orders. "You can mobilize as many workers as you need. If you need materials, just go directly to the people of Blizzard City or the Deng family." In the Jiangnan region, Zhang Yi was the real king, and no one would refuse his request. It could even be said that they were eager for Zhang Yi to make a request. Bai Li Changqing immediately withdrew. According to Zhang Yi's request, he gathered a group of elite workers and began to build the factory. With the productivity of the mid-21st century, building such a factory was not too difficult. In addition, with a large number of mutants as workers, the transportation of heavy objects, smelting of materials, electric welding, assembly, and other work were greatly accelerated. Zhang Yi returned to his room and lay comfortably on the soft bed. All he had to do now was wait. He waited for Xingjing in the northeast region to give him an answer, waited for Yang Xinxin's battle plan to be complete, and waited for Lu Karen to prepare all the energy needed for the battle. Next, he would integrate the forces of the 6 major regions and keep a close eye on the movements of the Wulwan Empire. As long as there were no major mishaps, this battle would unfold as he had expected. Victory would not be too much of a surprise. Ding dong! The doorbell rang, and the intelligent system projected Zhou Qir's face. "Zhang Yi, are you in there? Do you want me to come in?" Zhang Yi opened the door, still lying on the soft bed with his head buried in a velvet pillow. "Qir, you're just in time. I've been running around all day and my body feels a little sore. Give me a massage." After running all over the Huashu Kingdom and making a trip to Fremons and the underground world, Zhang Yi was indeed a little tired. Zhou Qir knew that Zhang Yi had returned and went into his room. She was very thoughtful and knew that Zhang Yi must be tired. The two had been together for almost 4 years and knew each other very well, so she went to Zhang Yi's room as usual. She took off her shoes, came to the bed, sat directly on Zhang Yi's lower back, and placed her soft hands on Zhang Yi's stiff shoulders. "Why are your shoulders so stiff?" The doctor's abilities were endless and could help people relieve physical fatigue. A layer of hazy white light appeared from her hands and enveloped Zhang Yi's body, making him let out a comfortable sigh. "Harder." Zhang Yi closed his eyes and enjoyed the relaxation of his body. "You put too much pressure on yourself every day." Zhou Qir sighed softly and said reproachfully, "Actually, you don't need to be so anxious. At the moment, the threat from the Wulwan Empire is not imminent, and they don't dare to attack the Huashu Kingdom so desperately. Even if we encounter trouble, the 6 major regions will discuss strategies to solve it together. Why do you have to shoulder all this responsibility on your own? You're too hard on yourself." Zhou Qir looked at the back of Zhang Yi's head with great concern and gradually increased the pressure of her hands. With the activation of the doctor ability, Zhang Yi's muscles relaxed considerably, and his originally agitated mood became calm. For more than 3 years, she had seen everything Zhang Yi had done. Whenever danger arose, Zhang Yi always protected them and faced it himself. He spoke coldly and cruelly, but he cared more about the people around him than anyone else. What a hypocritical man! Zhou Qir thought happily to herself. If it had been more than 3 years ago, when the apocalypse had just descended, she probably wouldn't have dared to imagine that she would be staying by the side of this cold, ruthless, and cruel guy. Zhang Yi enjoyed Zhou Qir's comfortable massage and said with a hum, "Those who only eat meat are despicable. What kind of foresight could those guys have? They only think about guarding their own little piece of land. They can't see the enemy coming at them, so they're not willing to take even the slightest risk." "Ha, does that mean I, Zhang Yi, am a risk-taker? It's just that I know temporary comfort is an illusion. If we don't keep getting stronger, sooner or later we'll be killed in this chaotic era. After enjoying Zhou Qir's massage for a while, Zhang Yi suddenly turned over and, amid her cry of surprise, pulled her into his arms. Zhang Yi closed his eyes and held his beloved's warm body, feeling incomparably satisfied at that moment. I must protect this family. I will not forgive anyone who tries to destroy my happy life. Zhou Qir looked at Zhang Yi's determined face, his sharp eyebrows somewhat cold and hard. She gently kissed Zhang Yi's eyebrows, wanting to smooth away the worries that had never disappeared from his heart. Everything will be fine. Zhang Yi slept very soundly, even dreaming that he was stepping on the Hades gatekeeper and laughing. When he woke up, it was already past 10 o'clock in the morning. After Zhang Yi got up, Yang Xia left him breakfast in a lunchbox. When he came to the living room, Yang Xia immediately came over with the food. Eat something. You were tired yesterday, so Qir didn't let us wake you up for breakfast. Zhang Yi nodded, ate, and suddenly asked, where's Karen? Karen is still busy. She and Mu Yan went to work after eating breakfast. Zhang Yi reached out, dipped his finger in some water, and wrote 3 on the table. 3 months. The current plan is to prepare everything in 3 months. Make thorough preparations, then start the war. Although he wanted to destroy the Wulwan Empire as soon as possible, he was in no hurry. This was an extremely important and dangerous war that did not allow for any mistakes. Therefore, he had to be not only 100% prepared, but 200% or even 300%. While eating, Zhang Yi contacted the East Sea region. Almost as soon as he sent the message, Li Guangxiao answered. Good morning, Commander Li. Hey, how good can it be? Our headquarters has been turned into a wasteland. It's not good. Li Guangxiao was full of resentment in the morning. Huh? What happened? You don't seem very happy. Chapter 21:14, One ship is not enough. Li Guangxiao said to Zhang Yi, you guys moved out, so naturally you don't know what happened. Right now, we are the only ones left in the southeast coastal area. The Wulwan Empire sends patrols every day, and they attack as soon as they see any signs of movement. Zhang Yi narrowed his eyes. This is good news. Zhang Yi had originally planned to say this, but after thinking about the troublesome Li Guangxiao on the other side, he didn't say it and instead said, this is a very troublesome problem. The Wulwan Empire's continued harassment of the southeast coast meant that they would not launch a major landing operation in the short term. On the contrary, the calm could signify a major attack. The Dragon Clan's intimidating power should not be underestimated. Zhang Yi could use this to his advantage and buy some time. Zhang Yi, what are you thinking? You said you would teach them a lesson, but now you've gone to Blizzard City. Are you going to fight or not? Li Guangxiao was now somewhat confused about Zhang Yi's intentions. Zhang Yi smiled, of course we have to fight. But we have to fight strategically, with a plan. Okay, you and your nonsense. I'm better at official talk than you are. Zhang Yi tapped his fingers on the table, thought for a moment, and said, don't worry. East Sea City is now underground, so even if they harass us a little, there won't be much loss. If we want to fight back, we must be fully prepared. Wait for me for a while, don't worry, I will give you a satisfactory answer. Even though they were allies, Zhang Yi did not tell the other party his real plan. Now everyone thought that Zhang Yi just wanted to take revenge, and no one dared to imagine that he wanted to destroy the entire Wulwan Empire. Secrecy was the key to success. After appeasing Li Guangxiao, Zhang Yi asked him to share any intelligence about the coast with him in a timely manner. However, he still didn't completely trust Li Guangxiao, so he asked Deng Shintong to mobilize his intelligence network to gather information about the coast. With this double insurance in place, he felt much more at ease. Zhang Yi finished his breakfast without rushing, and just then, Bai Li Changqing arrived. Report, Captain. The factory you wanted us to build is complete. Please come and inspect it. After listening, Zhang Yi was taken aback. It's already done? I thought it would take 3 to 5 days. Bai Li Changqing smiled and said, I told them that you ordered it to be built, so everyone in Blizzard City rushed over to help. The materials were taken directly from the airport and warehouse, transported to the site, and then assembled and welded by the mutants. We worked through the night and finished it quickly. All Zhang Yi needed was a secure internal space, so he didn't have high requirements for craftsmanship and materials. However, Zhang Yi was very satisfied with Bai Li Changqing's work efficiency. "You've been busy all night, go get some rest." Zhang Yi patted Bai Li Changqing on the shoulder and didn't forget to say to Yang Xia, "Bai Li hasn't eaten yet. Prepare some breakfast for him to replenish his energy." Yang Xia nodded with a smile, "Okay. Captain Bai Li, please wait a moment." Bai Li Changqing's face suddenly turned red, and he waved his hands repeatedly, "Captain, no need, I'll just eat something light." "What do you want to show me?" Zhang Yi sat him down at the table. "Let's go take a look at the factory first. See if there's anything that needs improvement, and we'll speed up the work so as not to delay your important business." No rush. Zhang Yi glanced at the time and saw that there was indeed no need to rush. It wasn't because he was idle, but because there were so many things to do right now, so there was no need to rush to deal with the super warship. Zhang Yi waited until Bai Li Changqing had finished eating before sending a message to Lu Karen. "Karen, come to the living room. I have a big surprise for you." Lu Karen was in Muyan's shadow space, directing the workers to process and refine ore. However, upon receiving the message, she immediately dropped what she was doing and rushed out. When she arrived in the living room, Lu Karen's face was still stained with black coal dust. She took off her gloves and looked around curiously. "Brother, what surprise do you have for me?" Zhang Yi stood up from his chair and said, "Let's go outside and take a look." He gave Bai Li Changqing a glance, and Bai Li Changqing immediately walked over to lead the way for the two of them. The giant factory was located on the west side of the resettlement area and could be seen as soon as one left Tianhai Fortress. There was no way around it, it was simply too huge, completely like a giant mountain peak straddling the side of the resettlement area. In the afternoon, it would block out most of the sunlight. The 500-meter-high factory had been built in just one night, which was truly a miracle of engineering. After seeing it, Zhang Yi couldn't help but sigh with emotion. The era of mutants was truly one of miracles. "Hey, what's that? It's so big." Lu Karen raised her hand to shield her eyes and said with a look of surprise. "Let's go, you'll see when we get there." Zhang Yi opened the dimensional gate and took Lu Karen to the factory building. Upon closer inspection, they realized how much effort Bai Li Changqing had put into it. The factory building was temporarily assembled from various warehouses and an airport, but it had been completely repainted and didn't look messy at all, as if it had been newly built. However, what Zhang Yi needed was actually just a temporary settlement area. The two entered the factory, which was extremely spacious. Lu Karen looked around, completely confused, and looked at Zhang Yi. "Brother, what surprise?" "The surprise is right here." Zhang Yi pulled Lu Karen back to the edge of the factory, then opened the dimensional gate. In the next moment, a huge metal behemoth was slowly released from the dimensional gate. Lu Karen took a first look, her eyes filled with confusion. Such a huge thing, and made of metal, could it be some kind of super weapon? But as the body of the super warship slowly appeared before her eyes, Lu Karen's mouth fell open. She thought she had seen the whole thing, but it turned out to be just the tip of the iceberg. The more that was revealed, the more Lu Karen's gaze became blank. Looking back on the history of human industrial development, even the most spectacular products were not even 1% as impressive as this super warship. When Zhang Yi finally placed it in the factory, Lu Karen's mouth was wide enough to fit an egg. Zhang Yi looked at her ridiculous appearance and smiled as he reached out to help her close her mouth. "Woo!" Lu Karen came to her senses, and tears flashed in her excited eyes. "Brother Zhang Yi, this is so awesome! Where did you get this thing?"